Misty, do you think because you did start though a little bit later that you have different perspective on limitations like age than other dancers do?
I think so. I think that my whole journey has just been so unexpected and so different from what people assume it has to be to succeed. And I think that's kind of set my standard of just believing that I've never followed the path of others to get to this point. And so I have to just keep pushing myself and not think, I'm 32 years old, that's way too late to be a principal dancer. I have to just keep pushing myself because, again, my path hasn't been that of so many people.
Right.
So I definitely think that starting at a late age has kind of kept my mind more open to what's possible.
Do you think that the ballet environment has changed with regard to options for older dancers or dancers from different backgrounds?
I think it's starting to slowly open up. Again, this is not an art form that just changes overnight. It's starting to, it's just something that I'm so passionate about doing. It's just bringing it to more people and exposing it to more people, educating more people on what it is, so that they will want to be a part of it. I think it's up to us and the youth to enter that space, to enter the Metropolitan Opera House, to go to Lincoln Center. That's what's going to promote change from, within the audience. And then diversity initiatives are what's going to change who's entering into the ballet schools and who's on the stage.
Why don't we talk about that? How do we promote more diversity in ballet starting young? I mean, we've been discussing you have to start young, so how do we do that?
Yeah, it's
hard.
How
are you doing that?
Yeah, it's hard when people just say, we need to see more dancers of color on the stage. And it's such a long process that if we don't have a large group of dancers getting the right training from a young age, there aren't going to be enough to choose from to make it into those elite companies. That's why you don't see as many at the top ranks, because they're not being selected into major ballet schools and getting the right training, as well as, I think the racism that exists in ballet. But I've helped to start a diversity initiative with American Ballet Theater.
Project Plie.
Project Plie. And I think that's something that's going to be a very slow process, but that's just how we have to start. We have to start bringing in the kids from a young age to get the proper training, and it's getting them the training without having to pay as much as you would assume most students have to pay. It's through the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and it's just a nice relationship that's been built in getting a lot of scholarships to especially minority children.
Through Project Plie.
Through Project Plie.
Do you think that if the ballet world doesn't learn to train more people and embrace more people, that it will, obviously it's doing itself a great disservice because you're losing talent, but become, I don't want to say obsolete, but it's not modern.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a
in our
discussion
world.
for a while. I'd say for the past decade, that's been a discussion within the arts and within the ballet world, where it was going, whether or not it was dying, how do we save it? And I think that's a huge part of it. I think that it's so important to involve our youth. And that's what's going to keep it alive. All of these patrons and this long lineage of families that have been a part of the ballet world, they die at some point. And you have to bring in a new audience and make it interesting for more people. I think especially with the way our youth, what they're exposed to today, and the phones and the TV, and it's like we're drifting so far away from the arts and the fine arts. And I think we need to get them to be interested in it and feel welcomed in it and feel that it's cool, and that it's fun and that you can look like them and be a part of it.